All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back at it, giving you guys the first video since I've been back from Cuba. And this is a special one. This is a guy I was talking to while over my trip. I just want to give you guys a quick backstory because I talked to him one-on-one. I recorded the whole meeting for you guys, and I just want to share with you guys so you guys can get the same value out of what he got. Um, so we want to share it with you guys, basically. Some things that we talk about is trade journaling, reviewing trades, social media, how you don't focus on social media, um, the pros and cons of changing anything in your strategy, and we also kind of talk about relationships and like strippers or something like that. Thailand experiences at the end. So it's about an hour long. You guys don't have to sit here and watch the screens. Sit back, look at your charts, just listen to it. It's just a nice listen. It's kind of like a podcast listen. So I appreciate everybody that listens to this. And this was one of the challenges I asked people to do. And I think in my last two videos, I asked people to do a 10 trade challenge, meaning just take the next 10 trades completely on your own analysis. Don't focus on anybody else but yourself. Don't look at social media and say, hey, this guy's buying, so I should be buying. Or this guy says sell, so I'm not going to buy. Right? Just completely do your own trading. Focus on your own methodology and nothing else. Right? Take every trade a good trade for the next 10 trades. And this guy did really well. So we learned a lot about it. He was the first one to complete it. I'm probably not going to sit down with another person if one of you guys messaged me saying you guys did 10 trades, but hopefully you can get the same value out of this as if I was talking to you guys. So besides that, back from Cuba, let's just get this thing rolling. And there we go. All right. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Hopefully the two recordings don't overlap. That should be fine. I'm recording it on Zoom and I'm also recording it on OBS.
Right.
Yeah, so don't worry about the time, man. That's cool. I understand we just did have a time difference. Time change happened here in North America. I'm not sure
Right.
if that happened for you last week. Are you in the UK right now?
I'm in the UK. Yeah, I'm in London.
Did you guys do that last week?
So the daylight saving time, I believe it happened a month ago.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, so I a couple videos ago, I asked everybody to see if they wanted to do a 10 trade challenge. I was just kind of putting it out there, and you were the first person that actually came back to me with completing the 10 trade challenge, right? So, how did that work for you? What did you think about it? The whole goal of this was just for you guys to take 10 trades, all 10 in a row, good trades, and to only worry about your own trading. Doesn't matter about the methodology, supply or demand, I don't know, volume, EMA crossers, support and resistance. I don't really care. The thing is, I just wanted everybody to do is just focus on their own trading plan and not care about what I'm posting or what other people are posting, especially on the internet, right?
Yeah.
So, how was that experience?
So before the trading challenge, I journal my trades anyway, but maybe not as conscious as I've been doing it for the past 10 to do your challenge.
Hmm.
So with the 10 trade challenge, it made me go back to the screenshots for maybe a second or third time to reflect and see what I'm actually doing.
Hmm.
So it was beneficial in that way. And to go forward, I think when I'm making trades in the future, I'm going to maybe spend an hour or so, possibly daily or every other day, just going through the past trades and see if I can find any patterns where I can improve or just iron out any sort of like silly mistakes that I'm doing.
Okay.
But it was really helpful overall to do it, just to take the challenge, just to improve my
Yeah,
trading overall.
yeah, it was good. I mean, I can't really offer any my thoughts on your own trades. You did take pictures, and to be honest, I just kind of grabbed a couple pictures from your trading. I honestly don't know what the hell you were doing, to be honest. Are you
Really?
trading? Yeah, and I say that because if you posted a chart like this in the private group, I would probably talk to you and I'd probably message you or just say, "What the hell is this?" Or,
Mm.
like I don't know how to react to this. All I see
Right.
is a bunch of lines everywhere, just over here, like boxes, EMAs. Like I don't know where you bought, I don't know where you sold, I don't know what your thought process was. Like
Right.
you should be able to post a picture and anybody else should be able to somewhat understand what your thought process was. This was just a picture of like just I don't even know what the heck this was. Like it took me like 30 minutes just to go into two trades and understand what you were doing, and I still have a million questions, but I'm
Mm.
not trading your strategy and I don't give a rat's ass about what your strategy is. So as long as you understand what you're doing and you can
Yeah.
reflect back on it 6 months from year 6 months from now or a year from now, then that's okay. But to be honest, I really don't see how a year from now you could go back and say, oh, I was buying for this reason, this reason, this reason. Um, this is where I took profit. This was my thought process. This is what I was thinking going into the trade. This is what
Mm.
happened after the trade. What was the pros? What was the cons? Right?
Right.
And that's good that you take pictures. You should be taking pictures of all your trades after the fact, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you should also have a written paragraph out to some extent saying what your thought process is about why you're buying or why you're selling, right? Because how do you
Yeah.
expect to review 6 months from now and totally understand what your thought process was then compared to now?
Yeah. So with the thought process, I don't typically write on the screenshot. So I use an app called Trello where I can write some notes in the description box.
Okay.
That sort of gives me a note or just a reference point to just to let me know what I was thinking and where the trend was and the reasons for entry,
Mhm.
things of that nature. So I color code my boxes because I don't like to use color too much on the charts. And as I'm not like fully comfortable with the supply and demand strategy, I just keep them in a sort of like a dashed line format where I can see, I guess, the candlesticks more clear and price action.
When you say you're not fully confident, are you trading supply and demand?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I am.
so you're trading something that you're not fully confident in. Do you see
Right.
something wrong with that?
I do, yes. So these trades were taken on the simulator. So I use a simulator called Soft Forex, and this is where I attempt to trade supply and demand and make before and after screenshots. So
Okay, yeah, so
color
when
code.
I'm looking at this trade, just
Right.
off of I just copy and pasted some of your trades in this Word document. I
Yeah.
see this is pound yen,
Yes.
5 minutes or something like that. I don't know. For me, listen, like to you, this might make total sense, but to somebody else, they have no idea why you're buying. There's no, you have it on Torello, right, or something like that. But
Yeah.
for me,
Trello.
I
Yeah.
have zero idea, right? So a small paragraph would have been helpful to me to understand what your thought process was,
Yeah.
right? I
Okay.
if you call some of these zones supply demand zones, I'm not going to call you out on that because you're trading your own strategy to some extent.
Yeah.
Um, one thing that was I might add a little note on, let's see if I can just widen that, is this you bought pound yen,
Mm-hmm.
but you bought up here.
Oh yes. Okay.
So
Yeah.
usually when you trade supply and demand, you want to be buying down here in the pullback. So you want to be
Yeah.
catching prices when it's down here. You don't want to be catching, you don't want to be pushing the buy button after prices have already moved so high. There is
Yeah.
no imbalance at this area. You just push buy, right? And then
Yeah.
you put your stop loss right before a demand zone, which is really stupid
Yeah.
to my strategy, to my
Yeah.
understanding. I can't
Yeah.
rip into your strategy because I don't know your rules. I don't know your system. Maybe you do this. Maybe you do chase the market. Not too sure. But if you have confidence in it and you see that it's working on the back end, then sure, then continue doing it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So with this one, so before I did the trade 10 trade challenge, I would try and set and forget. So like drawing the zones and setting limit orders at the top of the zone or the bottom of the zone, depending if you're buying or selling. And what I noticed is that I was getting stopped out a lot. So in these trades that I've shown here, I've decided to wait for the price to enter the zone and then enter out with maybe a stronger candle and then taking the entry from where I've taken it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, if it makes sense to you, that's totally fine. I can't really give you an opinion based on the pictures. But what we can talk about is your results that you got, right? And what you learn, your mistakes, risk reward, and anything like that, right? And so something else I did was I added some pictures about in the private group about what a top-down analysis is and what I would like to see people in written format too about something that they should be doing, right? And this is what I expect everybody to do in their trading, right? So with me, I have TradingView Pro Plus, so I have the ability to have four time frames on my charts, right? Which makes it easier just to like flash a picture, so then you don't have to look at three, which you did up here, right?
Hmm.
Right, so it's kind of easy for you. For me to do this, I have to go, okay, prices are here. What's it look like on the smaller picture? Okay, it looks like there. Then what was your entry? I got to go down here, right? And then I got to go back up, like say, hey, what was the stop process? Again, right on the bigger time frame. But for me, everything is done just boom right here,
Yeah.
right? So this is kind of like a Bitcoin. I'm not too sure if everybody can see this too well, but here is a Bitcoin, um, just analysis trade we were talking about. Now, to somebody that's not in the private group or trading my strategy, or maybe even to you too, this might seem very confusing. But to anybody that's trading the exact same strategy and has the same understanding, this makes complete sense about why. And everything that you need to know pretty much is in this picture to some extent. If we look at the top right, I won't get into it too much, but this was Bitcoin weekly time frame. We had prices coming up into a weekly supply zone. Over here to the left is a weekly supply zone, right?
Yeah.
It's been tested once. It came back up for a second test. That's why I said weekly supply tested. So that's telling me like, hey, it is tested. We are in a sideways trend based on how I determine trend. So I'm going to want to see confirmation, evidence of sellers stepping in, right?
Right.
Now, if you don't understand confirmation or anything, don't worry about it, right? It'll go over people's head. So what this higher time frame is just telling me, it's like, hey, we're in a higher time frame era. We want to be looking for selling opportunities. Do note that the zone is tested, so I want to wait for confirmation, and we are in a sideways market. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all it's telling me. I want to be a seller. And note the zone is tested. I go down into my intermediate time frame. This was the daily time frame. Trend always changes from inside out. I talk about that in my tips videos and confirmation videos and other stuff like that. Um, Confirmation, you're going to start seeing upward momentum lines being broken and maybe some demand zones being removed too. Trend changes from inside out, right? We see a break of upward momentum and removal of demand. So that's telling me that trend is starting to change. That's my confirmation right here. Break of upward momentum, demand being removed. So then I went down to my entry time frame and I said, okay, well, is there a quality level that we can actually possibly short at, right? So I went down to my entry time frame and draw out any zones to say, hey, this might be a good shorting opportunity, right? I determine if it's a quality zone or not, and if the zone is valid. If not, I don't take the trade. If yes, then I set my limit order and I wait for prices to go back up into it, right?
Right.
It's the same thing as here. I know you probably really can't see the picture too well, but it's just understanding when I write out, price are inside daily supply with the trend down. We could be looking for selling opportunities and confirmation. Um, Basically just telling me with the whole top down. This is all I would have to put down in the chat and everybody would know what my thought process is. They look at the picture, they can see why I'm getting out at my first target. They can see, what's the first opposing zone that's going to get in my way, how prices turn, right? Um,
Mm.
Here's another one. Everything's in the picture for them. You guys can't really see the picture, but if you trade the same methodology, you understand the whole top down and why I'm buying or selling. This is a picture from Vinny in the group. He posts two charts, one of his entry, one of his higher time frame. But then in this little gray box, he puts down like, I don't know, 200 words explaining his whole top down. Like, hey, why am I looking for buying opportunities? What's happening? You know, um, After the trade, what's happening? What my thought process was. Why am I entering the trade? Is it a good trade, bad trade? Emotions. That's stuff that he's writing in there, right? Same thing with Jimmy. He posted three more charts below, like you did, but he's explaining his whole top down, his thought process. I would expect all these people to have a full written paragraph for each trade they take so that they can go back 6 months from now to a year from now to 5 years from now, and they should have zero questions to be asking themselves about why they bought or sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So with
You need to
um
start. You say you do Trello, so I'm not too sure.
yeah,
I never received it.
yeah,
I couldn't see
they're a
it.
bit different. So yeah. I send them on PDF, so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I just don't open those.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But hey,
But
if you
yeah, I understand it's a lot easier to understand if you write on the charts and for other people to see
yeah,
and to understand what you're doing.
but hey,
And I guess for myself as well. So I'm just thinking, like, in terms of trades in a month, like, how many trades does your community or yourself typically take
uh,
in a month?
that's different for everybody, right? As for myself, a month, I'd say anywhere from 10 to 15, I would say.
Okay.
10 to 15, but it really doesn't matter how many trades in a month you take. I get that question all the time. It's a rookie question, right? Because you see all these people making 5 trades a day or something like that, or even like 1 trade a day. So you see
Yeah.
people, some traders make 5 trades a day and they just grind it out and make a small profit. That's totally fine. Or you could be that trader that's maybe a swing trader or just maybe 1 or 2 good trades a day, right? And you'll grind out, you know, 5 to 10 trades a week. That's potentially, I don't know, 15 to 30 trades a month, just say for example, right? There is no
Yeah.
exact set amount, right? So it's a hard question to answer. Everybody's different depending if you're swing trading, day trading, scalping, or whatever, right? As for
Yeah.
myself, I choose to look for quality over quantity. I'm not trying to make 50% returns every month, right?
Cool.
Um, when I was in Cuba, it was there's a lot of pelicans in the water that go up in the air and come down and splash in water and try to eat the fish, right? They dive straight into the water and they pick out the fish.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting out there, there's like nobody on the beach because it was such a windy day. And you think about it, if you think about it in trading aspect, I mean, I was a little drunk, so you come up with these stupid metaphors and analogies, right? When you're
You didn't trade it whilst you was out in Cuba, or did you? Did you
sorry.
trade both? Did you trade whilst you was out in Cuba?
No, 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 no. I tried.
Okay.
The Cuban Wi-Fi is just absolutely horrible. I would try to open up a chart. It would take 10 seconds to load the chart. I would try to switch the time frame. It was take 10 seconds to change the time frame, right? So I just said, screw it, might as well take it as a holiday. So I just kind of stayed up to date with the chat with the private group, but I didn't do any posting on Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Cool.
Yeah, Wi-Fi is just extremely bad. But there is no need to be trading every single day or take 10 opportunities, 10 trades a day, right? Those pelicans that were like going into the water, splashing down, capturing their food, they were eating all day. They would be up there till sunrise, till sunset, flying up in the air, catching the fish, right? Scalping. They're
Yeah.
basically kind of scalping the market, eating all day, just grabbing small fish, eating small fish, right? You take maybe like an anaconda or a lion or an alligator, they might only eat once a day, once every week. A lion, right? But they're the biggest and strongest animals. You could kind of say it's related to trading. You could either scalp all day, there's nothing wrong with that, right? You could scalp all
Mm.
day, you could take 5 trades, 10 trades a day, or you could take 1 to 2 trades a week and just let them be monsters, right?
Yeah.
The biggest animals, they don't eat all day, right? So
Yeah.
you
Cool.
could kind of think about it as trading aspect.
Yeah, yeah. One of the reasons why I asked is that I don't know if you're aware of these remote prop trading firms that are coming up in the online space where they're funding traders with capital if they can prove their profitability. I don't know if you're aware of any of these
Yeah,
companies.
I'm aware of them. I think they're good. They're perfect for retail traders that possibly have a small account, or maybe even yeah, they're good for small retail traders that don't have the account size that are good traders, but they just don't have the account size,
Yeah,
um, you know, to potentially make solid money, right? I totally understand it. They're good. That's a good system that they have, but the problem is there's so many people that private message me on social media saying that they're going through it, right? And they say they're doing
mm,
well, really well in their trading, but they've said they failed it multiple times,
yeah, I know.
or they go through it a month and then they end up failing, right? It's 99% of the people that sign up are not going to make it, right? They're not good retail traders. They might have just
Right.
had a good 2 weeks or 1 month, and they're going right back to their regular routine. And they're asking me, is this a good trade? I'm thinking about implementing supply and demand into my methodology, into this, doing this journey, or like, I'm trying out for their prop firm. I'm thinking about, learning more about supply and demand and then include it in my trading. That's the complete opposite you should be doing. I think it's completely stupid. You shouldn't be trying to learn a new strategy when you're going in through a testing phase, right? It's probably
Sure.
the stupidest thing you could do. You should be trading your own strategy, right? If you're going through like a demo phase or going through trial phase with them, you know,
Yeah.
they do something like what? Like at the end of the month, they want you to be up 5%. They have
Yeah.
rules like they want you to take no more than 3 trades a day or something like that, 10 trades a week, 1%
Yeah.
risk. There's stuff like that. They don't want you holding positions,
Sure. Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But people, they lose all the time, right? But I'm sure there's a lot of good traders with them that are profitable, but that's why there's a lot of screening after the first month, right? They don't just say,
Yeah.
okay, you've had one profitable month and they're going to sign you up. They're not idiots. They
Mm.
understand that this is a numbers game, and they'll find one or good traders out of 100 that try out. But I think
Yeah.
it's stupid for traders to go trying out for them when they're not profitable.
Mm.
That's just my sense.
Sure.
Um, yeah, I don't know much about it. I've never tried out for them. I choose not to. I don't want to put the pressure on me. I don't like people
Mm.
holding rules against me. I choose to
Yeah.
trade
Yeah. Of
because
course.
it's my own trading. I like to trade for myself. I trade for my own freedom, my
Mm.
own lifestyle. I don't want to be having rules saying, people hounding me. Oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. We need you to trade tomorrow. Like shit like that. It's like, no, get the hell off me. I don't need an extra 20 grand or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
So
just me though.
you wouldn't recommend any of your students to go for it? Any sort
Oh,
of
I would totally recommend everybody to go for it.
yeah.
A
If
hundred
you're comfortable.
percent, 100%. But I wouldn't be trying out for it if
Mhm.
you're not profitable. Then it's a stupid idea. It's a waste of
Yeah.
time. Because then if you're not profitable, then you're not really fully confident. You're learning other things. You go into a drawdown, you psych yourself out. You just get thrown back into the loop, right? Of learning
Yeah.
more, going back, trying again, learning more. It's a recipe for disaster. I think you need to worry about your own trading first.
Yeah.
Um, but that's my thought process on that. I think it's good. It gives everybody an opportunity for people that have small accounts. Um, I know people that do it. It does take a long time. It takes about maybe like 3, 6 months just for them to,
To
give,
approve.
yeah, yeah, show
Yeah.
you proof, and they start you with a small $10,000 or $20,000 account. You're going to work on that for 6 months, and then after a year of trading with them, they'll bump you up to maybe 50 grand. And after a
Mm.
year with them, then they'll bump you up to 100 grand, right?
Right.
So it does take time. So don't, they're going to know if you're ripping people off, you're not ripping people off, but if you're a profitable trader or not.
Right.
If you're still profitable after 6 months, well then sure, they'll take a 20 grand risk with you, 10 grand, 20 grand risk. But as soon as you go into a 10% drawdown, they'll just cut you off, and they'll,
Yeah. You lose
they'll say
everything.
bye.
Mm.
They'll take the risk of losing potentially, I don't know, 1 to 2 grand.
Mm.
But if they do find that trader that's really profitable, that's totally worth it. Then they'll be with them for years,
Yeah. For sure.
right? But that's just my thought process on that.
Mm.
Anyways, so let's go back to this. You had three winners,
Cool.
four losers, three break evens, and you're up 4R. What do you think about that?
Uh, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Ideally, I like to be maybe slightly better than that after 10 trades, but
Why? How much were
why?
you how much
Uh,
were you risking per trade?
so just under 1%.
Just under
Just on,
1%.
yeah.
And you
So
did 10
1%, yeah,
you did
1%,
10 trades.
10 trades, yeah.
10 trades, 1% risk, and you made
1 to 3 risk reward.
4%.
Yeah,
That's extremely good. You understand that. Having 10 trades and you're up
yeah.
4% in a 1% risk each trade, you gotta understand that's extremely good.
Thank you.
That's very good, right? Congratulations on that. So don't think that's not
Yeah,
bad, right? That's
yeah.
actually
I guess
very good.
It's just probably in my mind. I'm just thinking about
It's your expect no it's your
comparison, yeah, expectation and
it's your
comparison.
expectations and you comparing yourself to others, and that's
Yeah,
the problem with
yeah,
social media, man.
yeah.
You
I know.
see people posting only winners and massive winners, talking about only their winners. I never
Yeah,
go on social media. I think social media is a complete waste of time. I hate going on it. I dread going on Instagram. I don't scroll. I don't scroll on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that or Facebook. It's
yeah,
stupid. Um,
yeah.
but I have to reply to people, right? I do it to reply. That's really what I do. I think it's a waste of time. I never look at what other people are trading. Um, I'm still
Yeah, I think you need to
affiliated.
take advice.
Sorry, go on.
You need to take your advice, or people, traders in general, silence the phone,
Yeah, dude.
and
That's why I say it so many times. That was the whole point of this 10 trade challenge is to focus solely on your own trading style and to not, I said it in the video, don't worry about other traders trading other strategies, trading your strategy, um, or anything. Don't worry about where they're taking profits or what their analysis is on one chart. Who gives a shit? When you place a buy trade, like in that pound yen that you pushed buy at, somebody was selling, right?
yeah, yeah,
Somebody thinks that the market was going down. The market can only go up or down, right? So in their mind, their analysis was saying it was going down, but in your analysis, you were saying it was going up,
yeah,
right? Dude, don't worry about what other people are doing. Just solely focus on yourself on that. That was something I preach that a lot because it's something that I did, and I did it for a
yeah,
while because you would see all these people only posting winners, and to be honest, the winners sell. Winners sell, losers don't. That's just the honest truth. Especially when you're selling courses or anything like that, or you know
mm,
anything like that. You're in a group. You only share your winners. People look up to that, right? And people only want to see winners. People don't want to see losers, right?
yeah, of course,
So you having 10 trades, three of them being break even, you had three winners and four losers, and three of them were break even. So screw the three break even. You had three winners and four losers, and you were still up four
yeah, yeah,
R and R. That's insane, dude. If you go up to a prop firm and you said, "Is this good?" They would look at you like you're an idiot, and they would say, "That's insane. That's extremely good.
yeah,
That's a very good return, man." So don't compare yourself to others. If you want more reward, don't change anything. Don't change anything of the strategy. All you got to do is change your risk.
yeah,
Right? Just change that 1% to a 1.5% or to a
yeah,
2%, and that 4R will go up to an 8R or a
yeah,
10R, right? That's
yeah,
how you're gonna make those gains. But if you're trying to turn that, $1,000 account into 100,000 or 10,000, well then, you might, yeah, getting these 4R trades is gonna piss you off, right? But that's
yeah,
that
of course,
expectations.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's one thing on that. So good job on that, right?
Thank you.
Something else you learned is you learned uh, that you don't know everything about the market. You don't know everything about the markets. That's completely true. I don't know jack shit about a lot of things, and you don't need to know jack shit about everything, right? Um, I would rather be an expert or know a lot on one thing or one part of the market than know a little about everything, right?
Yeah,
There is no need to know every single market, how to trade it. If this goes down, that's bad for this sector and everything. There is no need to know everything about what happened in Tesla. What's the news journal when you don't even trade Tesla? Who gives a shit, right?
yeah,
Just focus on yourself, focus on your own trading style, focus on what's the charts telling you, right? If somebody posts saying they caught this move and they say, "Did you catch it?" Like you say no or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? There's an opportunity the next day.
yeah.
But I totally get it. It's a lot easier said than done.
Mm,
I know. But as you know, there comes a point where you just over time you get that mindset, right?
right.
The trades you've been journaling since 2017. You've only been reviewed a few times. Yeah, you got to review those. Obviously, at the end of the day, you review, you take the picture, and then at the end of the week, you review, you take a picture. Not take a picture again, but you review the trades for the week, and then at the end of the like say month or the quarter or every 6 months, go back and review your trades over the last 6 months, right?
Right.
That's something I do. I do it every day, and then every week, and then usually every 6 months.
How long does that take typically if you go over your trades? What
Well, if
is
you take proper pictures like I tell you to, it doesn't
yeah,
take long at all. All right.
yeah,
That's why taking journals and taking pictures is so important because how do you expect to go back and look at your trades if you haven't actually taken the proper pictures?
Yeah, of
That's what
course.
I'm telling you. You need to start taking proper pictures and journaling so that when you go back in a year from now, you understand what your thought process was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so on MetaTrader, you can sort of like divide your chart into thirds as well. So you could just show like your daily 4 hour and 1 hour, and then you could take a screenshot like that, and
Yeah.
then maybe just write over that.
Yeah, you can write notes and stuff like that. I use TradingView.
Yeah,
I think TradingView is a lot easier. It's a lot easier to use
yeah,
notes,
I use
multiple
it as
time
well.
frame. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
totally
so
worth the Pro Plus. I would get Pro Plus.
yeah, I understand that Oanda, the broker, they give you like a free um TradingView account, if that makes sense. So you can like split your screen or like divide it with the Oanda broker if you sign up with them and they give you that feature as
Yes,
a
yes. If you sign up with Oanda, I believe that they are partnered up with TradingView. I believe you do have to pay the TradingView, the
oh right,
elite
okay,
version. I believe that is. I'm not with Oanda, so I don't know for sure, but I believe you do have to
okay,
pay the elite version for that,
okay, cool.
which is I think like $350 a year American, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So any mistakes, I win or I learn. I just need to be consistent. Remember that. Okay. I wouldn't really consider that a mistake. When I asked for mistakes, I was wondering if there's like any stupid mistakes you make, like um, you took profit early, or you were in a trade that you never should have been in, or you took a trade
Oh
that
yeah,
somebody else had posted, right?
there were some there. I just really, I guess when thinking about mistakes, I weren't thinking about that. But yeah, for sure, there were trades like that where I maybe made a stop loss too tight, as you referred to one of the screenshots, and if I'd made it a little bit bigger, I would have still been in the trade.
Yeah,
Maybe,
potentially.
yeah. So
There's also pros and cons that we could get into about when you move a stop loss or anything like that, which we might get into later on. Um, you like to see what happens when I go against the checklist. I wouldn't go against your checklist at all. Your checklist. I always recommend people having a checklist. Like,
yeah,
step one, before you can go to step two, you have to do step one. Before you can get to step five, you need to do step four, three, two, and one. Right?
yeah,
That keeps you doing structure in your trading. Meaning you can't take the trade unless you've done, step one, step two, step three, step four, step five, step six, or however many steps you have, right?
right,
That keeps structure in your trading. And when you have structure in your trading, that is a trading plan. And when you have a plan and structure in your trading, that limits your emotions, right?
yeah,
Because if you know you can't execute the trade until this happens, or this happens, well, then you can't execute the trade, right? It creates discipline. It creates consistency. That's one of the major keys that I talk about into overcoming, was it discipline, consistency, and patience. You can't execute the trade unless you've gone through the checklist or the map, right? If this happens,
right,
then what? If that happens, then this, right? That's something that I would recommend for everybody. That's something I do, and everybody in the private group. They have a checklist that they create by themselves, saying they need this, 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 and then they can take the trade. Because if you don't, what you're gonna have is you're gonna have this, then this, but then you don't have that, you don't have this, but then you start thinking, oh well, then I do have an EMA crossing, but the support and resistance isn't there, but I do see a pin bar, right? And it's just
yeah,
like you don't know. You're just going based on whatever you really think.
yeah,
There is no structure to it, and then the trade ends up being a loser. You end up getting pissed off. You think, oh, it's because of this reason, right? And it's never just one reason, right? So stick with a checklist. That's what I would recommend. It will help you
yeah,
conquer your and patience, discipline, consistency. It'll keep structure in your trading, and you need it, right?
yeah,
For when you
right,
take profits, where you take profits, why you take profits, right? That's all things that you need in your checklist.
yeah,
You want to make it as mechanical as possible, right?
yeah,
Very mechanical. Uh, Sit down and review. Yes, I would recommend everybody sitting down and schedule a sit down period and just review all your trades, right? How do you expect to go back and look at trades and see, hey, this trade setup isn't working anymore, or hey, this trade setup's working really well, and I'm not taking them as much as I should be, right? This was actually one of the main things that helped me get over being a profitable trader was me reviewing my trades over the last 6 months, and I couldn't do that with what we just talked about this whole time without taking trades, right? Without having a checklist, without taking the proper pictures. I mean, right?
Yeah.
What I did is I reviewed my past like 6 months to a year trades, all the trades I've taken, and I would write down in boxes, counter trend with the trend, sideways market. Are we trading inside higher time frame zones? Are we not trading? Is it a set and forget, right? So I had like 10 different criterias, and I'd go through each picture and I say, okay, what type of trade this is? Okay, we're sitting in the higher time frame zone. This was a confirmation entry. It was the aggressive confirmation entry. I go to my aggressive confirmation entry box, right? That
Right.
I wrote down, and I put a win or a loss, right? I did it for like the past year's trades, and then I reviewed. It turns out a lot of my worst trades, like I was winning like probably like I think like 18% of my trades were when I was taking counter trend trades with aggressive confirmation or something like that. I was doing something stupid, right? And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't review, right? So I completely scrapped that type of trade from my trading. But then it turns out I'm a 75% winner when I take these certain trade setups, right?
Right.
So I should be taking more of those and less of those, right? So you, after a year's worth of data, you can go back and actually look at all your trades and say, hey, this is actually something I should be doing, right?
Yeah.
That's something that I recommend everybody to do every 6 months. That's what I do. Every 6 months I review, maybe there's a certain currency pair that's or a stock or whatever that's just not profitable. You're not trading it well. Every 6 months and every year, I always go over and I say like, hey, what's the worst performing currency pair that I'm trading? And I get rid of it, right? Like
Right.
the Canadian, this past time when I reviewed, it was the Canadian currency. I was just doing really poor with the Canadian currency, so I removed all my poor Canadian currency pairs, right? Maybe that has something to do psychologically because I am Canadian, right?
Yeah. So there's a bit of bias going on.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I just maybe just want to remove it completely, or maybe it was just the Canadian was not performing well with that strategy for that time. But I'm not going to trade it anymore. It clearly told me that I wasn't doing well with it and I was losing money with it, so I got rid of it. But when I was trading the US dollar pairs, the majors, and anything connected to the USD, I was trading them very well. I was at like a 70% win rate. So it's like, hell yeah, I want to be looking at those trades a lot more, right?
Yeah.
Get rid of the ones that aren't working and do the ones that are working. That's why you can't do that without actually going through your checklist, without journaling your trades, and then without reviewing your trades. This is why it's so important, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's something that I would recommend everybody to do, right?
Right.
Do you have any questions on that?
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Do you know when you said you had the aggressive trade checkbox? Is this Do you like have a spreadsheet for that, or you just
No,
writing in your
I
box
just
right
wrote
now?
it on a piece of paper. Yeah, there's
Okay.
no need to get fancy or anything like that. I just draw boxes. I don't know. This is just me, right?
Yeah.
There's no best way to do it. Maybe I'm talking about my strategy because I can talk about my strategy, right? Maybe you're trading EMAs, pin bars, you have a mix of all different things that you like to see. Well, then maybe you
Mm,
should write down that all in a box. Say, hey, do you have a pin bar? Hey, do you have the support and resistance? Hey, do you have this? You know, I
yeah.
don't know. Is the RSI overcrossing? I don't know. Is the Are bearish stepping in? Are buyers stepping in? Right?
Mm,
Figure that all out, right? You trade your strategy, you should know it better than anybody,
sure.
right? And put down little wins or losses. Bad
Yeah.
trades. Was it a bad trade, right?
Right.
That's what really helped me get over the hump of, just slowly grinding to slowly grinding up, going
Yeah.
sideways to going up, right? Just getting rid of those bad trades. And that's what I'm working with a lot of people in the private group right now.
Yeah.
They get it. They get everything. They get the whole strategy. They got their plan, but they're making stupid mistakes,
Mm,
right? And it's those stupid mistakes that cost them.
right.
So, anyways, so you look to find your risk reward. You look to find 1 to 4 risk to reward. What I notice is the set and forget strategies they get stopped out by wicks. Okay, so What's one thing that you're going to stop doing?
Initially, I was going to say I'm going to stop doing the set and forget until maybe I test it some more and find the perfect
I,
stop loss range.
I would agree.
Or
I would
yeah, for
agree.
example, yeah, so like 1 to 4. If I increase the stop loss, it won't be a 1 to 4 anymore. So it could be I can only reach a 1 to 2 and just be happy with that, and then take the profits. Or maybe once I reach 1R, take 2/3 of the trade off. So maybe
Well,
take
what were you
60.
doing up here? What were you doing to
So
get those results?
I I would watch the trade, um, see how it progresses on the 15-minute chart. So I would mark the daily 4 hour, 1 hour, and then once the trade hits as a 1 hour zone or a 4 hour zone, I would zoom down to the 15-minute chart and then maybe draw a trend line or just wait for a pattern. So an engulfing pattern, a wick rejection, maybe a double top or a break and retest of a structure,
Okay.
and then take the entry from there. So if I'd seen like a pin bar or anything show me that price could potentially reverse, I would cut the trade short and then just end it there. But if I don't see any signs of reversal, say such as a engulfing or pin bar, I'll allow the trade to run. So on 3 of those occasions, it, price hit the take profit of like 1 to 3. So
Well,
yeah,
those weren't set and forgets then.
pretty much. I was
Pretty
I
much meaning that yes they were or yes they weren't.
so they weren't because I waited for price to hit the zone and then took the entry once I saw like a strong reaction to that zone, and then I would put in an instant execution.
Mm,
So yeah, I guess they weren't set and forget.
okay, so don't take set and
Right.
forgets.
Yeah,
There's your problem. We solved your
yeah,
problem. Don't take them. You said it,
just watch the charts. Yeah, but
right?
I'm trying to not stay on it too long,
Yeah.
and maybe just trust it. So I just
Well,
need to work.
you don't have confidence in your methodology or your system because you haven't seen it work enough, right? That comes with time. That comes from back testing and then seeing it in the live markets, right? That's how you grow confidence. It's hard. It's hard to take somebody's strategy and then just completely replicate it in a
Yeah,
month's time, right?
yeah,
Because you don't feel the confidence in it,
sure.
right? So if you haven't been taking set and forgets and you're not finding success with it, then don't trade it, right? Just trade whatever you're doing before. You're finding one. I always say 4 to 1. Just say 4 to 1. I say it.
4 to 1. Yeah, yeah,
Don't do 1 to 4. I hate when people call me out on that shit.
just one.
4 to 1. We all know what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
4 to 1 reward to risk, risk to reward, whatever. Um, 4 to 1 is very good. And if you're winning, you're making 4 to 1 risk to reward. Um, and you had 3 wins and 4 losses. You know,
Yeah.
that's that's insanely good. Was that 4, 7? You won
Yeah,
three out of 7 trades. That's
yeah.
what?
So
That's what, 35, 40% win rate.
yeah, 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 around
And
there.
you're getting a 4 to 1 risk to reward on average, dude. That's insane.
Yeah. So yeah. So the 4 to 1 is just a zone, and I always set the take profit maybe 1 R less. So I won't take the 1 to 4.
Okay,
I will always do the 1 to 3, but I'll just make sure that I have that range there.
that's good. I always recommend, based on my strategy, if something's offering me 2 to 1, I never take 2 to 1. I might take 1 to 1 or 1.5 to 1. If it's offering me 4 to 1, I'll get it at 3 to 1.
Cool.
Right? Just
Yeah.
I don't want to get too greedy here.
Yeah. I remember like watching one of your videos and you mentioned that. So it's one of those notes I took down.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
try to
So
implement.
I wouldn't worry. Obviously, the lower you ask, the less you ask from the market, the more times you're going to end up winning, right?
Mm,
So if you're asking for 4 to 1 every time, meaning you want 4 to 1 risk to reward, you need the market to go more in your favor, which means you're also giving more time for the market to go against you. You're
yeah.
going to have a smaller risk to reward, sorry, not risk to reward, win rate if you go to the 4 to 1s compared to the 2 to 1s, right? It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense if you're going to be getting a higher win rate with a 4 to 1 than a lower win rate going 2 to 1,
Yeah.
right? So it's all about finding that boundary, right? As for somebody like me, I absolutely hate losing less than 50% of my trades. And that comes from I would like to do a video on this, like psychology and stuff like that. I do plan on making a video like that, just like one solid video, but I want to get some
Yeah.
clips first. I don't want people looking at a screen, you know?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
maybe get some nice like walking street videos or like, Thailand or something like that. So I'm waiting for it to get clips, something like that. Give something for people to look at if they want to look at it or just listen to it.
Yeah.
But I think it does depend on how you're raised and what you want out of the market, basically. If you came from a sports background and you were always winning a lot, you came from a winning team and you were just always on a championship team, you're used to always being like an 80% or a 75% winner, right?
Yeah.
Your whole life, you're just born and bred being a winner on a winning sports team. And then you go into trading and you end up winning 50% of your trades and losing 50% of your trades. Psychologically,
Mm.
you're going to screw yourself up, right?
Right.
Because you're going to go from your whole life being an 80% winner, 75% winner, and then all of a sudden go to a 50%, 40% winner. That's going to screw you up psychologically. And then you have 3 to 4 losers in a row. That's going to screw up your psychology a lot because you've never really lost 3 or 4 trades in a row or matches in a row in a game,
Yeah.
right? So this is why I always think about creating your own trading plan based on your own personality is so important,
Mm.
right? So for me, Um, 4 to 1s are nice. I don't get them all the time. I prefer grinding out, 1.5 to 1, 2 to 1s, 3 to 1s, maybe the odd
Mm.
4 or 5 to 1, maybe. But those
Mm.
ones are a little more long shots. I prefer having that higher win rate than having the higher risk to reward but the lower win rate.
Yeah. It's something I can look at as well. So I may investigate and see
Yeah,
if it can
I
work in
mean,
my favor.
it's up to you, man, right? It's if you don't mind losing, right now you're winning what 30%, 35, 40% of your trades, but you're getting 4 to 1. If that's okay for you, then that's okay for you, right? For me, I hate losing, or
Mm.
I hate like losing, I guess 70% of my trades. I hate it,
Mm. Yeah.
right? So I would rather win 50% at least, or 60, 70%. That's what I want. But I'm gonna
Mm.
have smaller risk to reward trades, but I'm gonna be winning more,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So that's something to consider into your trading. But if you got this right now and you're working and it's totally cool with you, man, keep doing it. Don't listen to me, right? But I just want people to get that structure in their trading, right?
Yeah.
And this is exactly what we just talked about. If you widen your stop loss, say 30 pips, your R&R will drop down. Yeah, exactly, right? The wider you make your zone, the less likely you're going to get stopped out,
Mm.
right? But the lower risk to reward you're going to get. It's a give and pull effect, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's that. That's all you really wrote down for us.
Mm.
And that was my trades. Did you have anything you want to keep talking about?
Um. Well, no, I'm just very grateful for the time
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, just like since I've been trading, I've just been like going through different like strategies and testing different things. But I found that supply and demand is quite useful for trading, and it does take a bit of time to understand and to test as well. And there are different ways of test or trading it and drawing zones. Everybody seems to have their own approach to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I just like what I've taken from this is just maybe I need to put more effort into making my journals clearer and then
Yeah.
some more
If
information on the
Dude,
statement.
I wouldn't change anything in your strategy. If you can pull that, do another 10 trades. 10 trades is not enough to say is it working or not, right? It's the bare minimum to say like, hey, is this like somewhat working, right?
Hmm.
Right? So I would recommend going another 10 trades,
Right.
right? If you can still be positive after another 10 trades, then that's very good. And
Mm.
private message me, man. Just let me know how
Yeah,
your next 10
no,
trade
I'll
went.
definitely update you.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to do this meeting again with you.
No, of course. No, it's fine, man. You might even see me in your group one day. So
Yeah, yeah, no, that's
yeah,
perfect, man. If you ever do join, or for anybody, right? If you're finding success with your methodology, don't change it,
yeah.
right? Just because I say sell doesn't mean that you go off and sell. If you think it's going to go up, take the opposite side of my trade,
Mm.
right? Um,
Right.
yeah, because you had good results, man. I know it's only 10 trades, right? But if you can confidently say that you followed your plan and you didn't make any mistakes, and you're up for risk to reward, screw it, for reward in only basically 10 trades, which I guess you could say 7 trades is the ones that were winners or losers. That's very good, bro.
Yeah. Thank
You know,
you.
if you want more, you should risk more,
Yeah.
right? Just risk more. Like if you're taking 7 trades and you win 3 and you got 4 losses, dude, that's better than me. I'll tell you straight up. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. You're still up though. You're
Sorry?
still doing all right. So.
Yeah, well, I understand.
Yeah.
I just don't compare myself to others.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I hate, that's why I tell people don't compare yourself to others.
Mm.
If it means you stop watching my videos or anybody stopping watching my videos, that's totally fine with me. Um,
No, I always recommend your videos, so
Good, man. I appreciate that.
thank you.
It'd be cool
Yeah.
if, one day if somebody came up to me on the beach or something like that while we're in some other country and said, "Yeah, I listened to your advice. I put down the phone. I stopped listening to other people on social media about trading, and I focused
Mm.
only on myself, and it helped me." Man, that's totally worth more than, you know, letting people join the group. That's totally fine,
Yeah.
right? I want people to do that. I want people to do well in this, but it's up to you guys. It's not in my control. It's up to you. And I just say focus on yourself. Don't worry about others. Don't stop
Yeah.
scrolling, man. Stop scrolling. That's what I keep saying. Stop scrolling.
Yeah, I pretty much stopped anyway, I just reach out to you and other people, so other traders like-minded
No,
people and
dude, I would stop doing it, man. Don't even reach out to me. If you want me to be honest with you, I would
just
100% say don't ever message me again. Message me and I'd message me once you're done your next 10 trades, and then message
yeah,
me every. You feel free to message me every 20 trades and say like, hey, this is the
yeah,
results. This is the results.
okay, yeah,
I
I
have
can
no
do that.
problem with that. But if you come up to
Cool.
me and say, hey, am I drawing these zones right? Or like, should I be doing this or this? That's where it's like, hey, you don't have confidence in your system,
Mm,
right? If
yeah,
you wanted like a psychological talk or psychology talk, and you asked me like, hey, what's the pros and cons of me doing this? Then I would make a video and address it, right? I'm not
yeah.
gonna hop on the phone with you again and talk about it.
No, that's cool.
I'd
That's
make a
cool.
I'd make a video because everybody will get value out of it. Because most things that
Yeah,
you change in your strategy are going to be given pull effects, right?
yeah,
Regarding
right.
what your risk to reward and win loss structure is.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else? Anything else? Questions?
I'm in the back of my mind. I'm just thinking about that Etienne Kretz interview. This
Oh
was
yeah,
it a couple of years ago?
yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about not being in a relationship because of your trading and stuff like that. Yeah, do you still feel the same way?
Oh hell yeah, completely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
stand by it. I don't think anybody should be getting into a relationship. I think it's a trap.
yeah,
I think they're all fine and dandy. Um, I think if you want to become a trader, I think your time is better spent on the charts than trying to going to spend time with your girlfriend. There's a lot of games that get played going into relationships, right?
yeah,
You just go and meet a girl, right? You get her number. You spend a lot of time texting. Sadly, if I meet a girl and I get her number, I'm not texting much. I'll meet up with her in a week, 3 days from now,
mm,
and we'll talk then for an hour. I'm not going to sit there and have 50 text conversations back and forth because then your mind starts thinking about her, right? You start thinking
mm,
about her, thinking about how cute she is or whatever. You start texting her, um, pull up the phone, you might call her, and you start playing these, texting games. And then you take her out for dinner. Does she like me? Do I like her? Right? And then you got to pay for the bill, right? That's a
mm,
hundred bucks. That's $100 that could be going into your trading account. And then, you are in a relationship. You spend, say, 4 or 5 hours a week with her, right? I mean, like
yeah,
most relationships, you spend more than 4 or 5 hours a week with her, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
5 hours a week that you could be spending with your trading, getting better, reviewing, back testing, right? Um, I completely stand by it. There's a lot if you start putting a lot of time in your charts, she's gonna get mad, saying you need to spend more time with her.
mm.
And how old are you?
I'm in my 30s, mid 30s. Yeah,
Okay. Hey, you're a young guy. So I'm 20, 24, just turning 25 right now.
yeah,
And hell yeah, I don't get into a relationship right now. I'm focused on what I'm trying to accomplish.
yeah.
Sure, I'm
So I
sure
just, yeah.
right?
Because with Etienne, he's got a girlfriend, hasn't
Oh,
he?
I
So he
know.
told.
I, I know. I told him it's a mistake.
All
Yeah, we still talk. I told him,
right.
yeah, we still talk
Yeah, 'cause
about it.
that's what I was really interested about that because it's like two different lifestyles, isn't it? So
Yeah, yeah,
I.
he was telling me about her before they before the news even came out that they were dating. And he was showing me
Okay.
pictures and I found it hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he told me after we talked, he's like, "Yeah, dude, I gotta show you this." And we were
Yeah.
talking about it. It was when I
Um,
was leaving Thailand, we were talking about it. And
um,
we were at the strip club with him. He was showing me. Yeah, it's a good Thailand's a good place. Go to like Nana
yeah, I've been there.
Plaza.
I've been
Yeah,
there
you been to
many
Nana
times.
Plaza?
I think so.
It's
I
like the
think
strip.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The first time I went there, yeah, I went
Yeah, it's
there
right
and
by Hooters.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you
I've been
walk
to.
under and it's like 50 strip clubs right there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
Yeah,
great, man. It's fantastic, you know.
yeah,
Sure, you go buy a $5 beer, but then you can walk into the strip club and there's like
mm,
naked Thai girls sitting in the hot tub, shirtless, and then you got 20 girls dancing on a pole, like with the whole thing spinning too, right?
yeah.
And you sit back and enjoy the beer and enjoy the music,
Mm.
right?
And the Water Festival, you've been to that as well.
Sorry?
The Songkran Festival, April.
No,
Have
I
you heard?
haven't. No, 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 no. I just
It's,
missed it last time I went.
yeah, it's worth going. It's a big water fight. It's quite
Yeah, yeah,
exciting.
yeah. I see it. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos on it. It's just like a 3 day festival, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
A 3 day festival where they just like just shoot everybody with disgusting water from the
yeah,
sewage. Yeah, I question
yeah.
how many people get sick from that, eh?
Probably quite a lot.
Oh yeah, because people are just dumping. There's like literally like garbage trucks full of water, just like filling it up in water tanks, right, and shooting into people's faces and their eyes and their mouth, right? I imagine a
Yeah,
lot of people get sick, and you never want to swim. That's
yeah,
in the one I'm referring to is Pattaya, but even Bangkok, they're using that greasy water, right?
yeah.
And oh yeah, I wouldn't. You don't go swimming in Pattaya or Bangkok,
No, I haven't
right?
done that.
You don't do
Yeah.
it. It's because
No, I haven't done
it's sewage
that. Yeah.
water.
Oh man.
So that's literally sewage water that they're shooting everybody with.
I'll be going again, but maybe I'll go to another park where it's just a bit
Have you
nicer.
been to Pattaya?
I have, yeah, I've been
Yeah,
there. And,
it's a good place,
I haven't
huh?
been to, yeah, the other places, like the really nice beaches. I haven't been, but
Oh, you never went to Koh Larn?
no,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's where you go swimming. You take the ferry over.
yeah,
Right? It
yeah.
costs
Next
you
time,
30 baht, and you'll take the ferry over to the islands. It takes a 30-minute ferry ride from Pattaya.
yeah, yeah, I'll be definitely checking out next time. Man. I'll
Yeah, maybe
plan to
you'll
go.
catch me. You'll
Yeah,
catch me somewhere over there in Southeast Asia, man.
yeah. I'll
I have
drop
no
you a message.
problem
Yeah,
grabbing a beer.
that'll be nice. Yeah.
Good, good, man. Well, I'll let you go then. You have anything else?
No, that's it, Austin. Thank you so much.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I do. I
Oh
do. Yeah,
God, get the hell
I
out of
was.
here.
Yeah, I was with her earlier this afternoon. That's why I got the times wrong. So I thought I had a bit of time to do some shopping.
Yeah,
And
that's why
I
you're late, eh?
Yeah,
You're
and
lucky I did
I had
this.
to run back. Yeah,
No, I wouldn't have done this because you're 30 minutes late, and I do value my
yeah,
time, especially when I'm
I
going
know.
out of my way to do
Yeah,
it for free.
yeah, I felt really bad because I got the times wrong. So I put it in my phone to find out what time 9 a.m. PST would be. And for some reason, I had in my mind it will be 5 p.m.
Well,
And
we did have. That's why I gave you you know, a
yeah,
pass because we just had the time change here this night,
yeah.
last night. So
Ah, I see.
I knew that
Okay.
was gonna screw you up, but I didn't want to message you. I wanted to see if you would know.
Ah, okay.
Just testing you. You didn't know.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always be
This is
aware, man.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm really sorry, but I know that's one of the things you need in trading, isn't it? You need to like have attention to detail.
Yeah, it's always important to value people's time, though, too, right?
Yeah,
People say meet
yeah,
at this time, meet at this time,
of course.
right?
Yeah,
Always value other people's time.
yeah.
But I thought I'd give you some slack. If we were in a business deal, I definitely
I
would
love the
not be
job.
talking to you right now.
Yeah, I know.
But that's that, okay? I'll let you go. Let
Yeah.
me stop
All right.
everything.
Thanks a lot, Austin.
Thanks a lot for doing
Cheers.
this, by the way, eh?
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. I hope it helps people, and maybe somebody else can come on.